Have you ever felt like you're living a life that doesn't feel like your own? Everything looks fine on the outside, your job, your relationships, your routine, but inside, something feels broken, silent, suffocated. You can't explain it. Maybe nobody sees it, but you feel it. A quiet anguish that wears the mask of boredom, apathy, or fatigue. This is where the real problem begins, because you were told to avoid this feeling. You were taught that a good life means peace, that pain is failure, that suffering is a mistake, and you believed it. But Nietzsche would call that a seductive lie. According to him, life isn't about seeking comfort, it's about overcoming. He called it the will to power. And no, it's not about dominating others. It's about conquering yourself. It's the force that turns defeat into strength, pain into fuel, and setbacks into personal evolution. If you feel lost, stagnant, or small, maybe you're not broken. Maybe you're just living against your nature. Because Nietzsche believed life doesn't want comfort. It wants intensity, confrontation, growth. Life wants you to jump into the unknown and come back stronger. This video is for you if you're tired of hiding behind distractions, if you feel something inside you screaming to wake up, if you've realized deep down that following the common path won't take you anywhere extraordinary. You're being called to confront what you've been avoiding your whole life, your own potential. Once you understand the will to power, there's no going back. Ignorance stops being comfortable. Passivity becomes unbearable. And suddenly you see how society has trained you to shrink, to submit, to stay small. But if you have the courage, this could be the moment where everything changes. Nietzsche once wrote, "What does not kill me makes me stronger." And the question you now face is simple, but inescapable. Are you ready to stop surviving and start truly living? Do you want to evolve? Do you want to become someone stronger, freer, and more self-aware? Then prepare to suffer, because transformation demands pain. This isn't what modern society wants you to hear. Today's world sells you a fantasy, one built on pleasure, convenience, and distraction. A world that teaches you to run from discomfort, to silence your inner struggles with entertainment, comfort food, or a glowing screen. But Nietzsche understood something few are brave enough to admit. Suffering is not a flaw in the system, it is the system. Pain is not life's mistake, it's life's invitation. He believed suffering is not something to be numbed, it's something to be faced head-on, to be burned by it, refined by it, transformed by it. You must have chaos within you, he wrote, to give birth to a dancing star. And this is not just poetry, it's a brutal truth about the human soul. Think about your own life. When have you truly grown? Was it during moments of ease or during breakdowns? Was it when things went smoothly or when everything fell apart and you were forced to rebuild from the ashes? The truth is this: you didn't grow despite the pain. You grew because of it. Suffering isn't the obstacle, it's the process. It's the moment you finally said no more and set boundaries. The time you chose to rise from heartbreak instead of letting it define you. The instant you decided you'd rather lose everything than continue betraying yourself. That's what Nietzsche saw. He called it the battlefield of the will to power, a place where illusions die and truth is born. Because anyone can appear strong when life is easy, but real strength is revealed when you're left alone, broken, face to face with your own fears, and you still choose to rise. That's when you stop being someone the world can manipulate. That's when you become dangerous. That's when you become free. But freedom has a cost, growth has a price, and it's paid in pain. Here's what most people don't understand. If you avoid pain, it doesn't disappear. It just finds new ways to recycle itself. Unconfronted suffering repeats. It becomes patterns, loops, habits that sabotage your future, and you'll keep returning to the same place, with the same wounds, the same complaints, until you choose to face the fire. Nietzsche believed that only those who embrace pain with open eyes become something the world can never control. It's not about glorifying suffering. It's about owning it, using it, letting it strip away the lies you tell yourself until only the truth remains. Because in pain, there's purity. In suffering, there's power. And if you can stop asking, "How do I escape this?" and start asking, how do I use this? You change everything. That's not weakness. That's philosophy in action. That's Nietzsche's core idea. Pain isn't your enemy. It's your teacher. Most people will run from this truth their entire lives. But if you've made it this far, maybe you're not like most people. Be honest. How many times have you felt that you could be more courageous, more alive, more awake, but something pulled you back? How many times have you had a moment of clarity, an inner surge that whispered, break free, only to watch it fade beneath the weight of habit, fear, or distraction? The truth is uncomfortable. You're stuck. And worse, you might not even know it. Nietzsche had a word for this: decadence. It's not about moral failure or financial ruin. It's a state of internal decay, a soul that is dead in motion. From the outside, everything may look fine. You have routines, responsibilities, relationships, but inside, you're hollow, functional, but not fully alive. Because being functional is not the same as being fulfilled. Having stability is not the same as having purpose. Following the script is not the same as living your truth. And yet, this is what most people settle for. They adapt. They submit. They silence the fire within in exchange for a socially acceptable existence. But what is this peace they cling to? It's not real peace. It's anesthesia. Modern life teaches us not to live, but to cope, to smile through burnout, to distract ourselves from dissatisfaction, to reward comfort and call it happiness. We're trained to avoid conflict, avoid risk, avoid standing out, to not disturb others, to not demand more, to not become too much. But do you know what this really is? It's spiritual castration. It's the killing of your inner fire in slow, silent ways. And Nietzsche had no patience for this. He believed that every time you silence your truth to fit in, you weaken your soul. Every time you stay where it's safe instead of where you're called, you abandon your potential. Every time you choose ease over effort, you declare to life, I'm okay being less than I could be. And no one is coming to change that. There's no savior, no guru, no government, no partner, no permission. The only one who can set you free is you. But freedom comes at a cost, because your prison isn't made of bars. It's made of beliefs, stories, excuses, identities you've inherited, masks you've worn for years, and you've worn them so long, you've forgotten you're still pretending. Self-sabotage, for Nietzsche, was a trait of the weak, those afraid of their own power, afraid of the responsibility that comes with being truly free. Because freedom means no more hiding behind blame, no more waiting to be saved, no more victimhood. It means standing in the fire of your truth, even when it burns everything you thought you were. So ask yourself, what would your life look like if you stopped running? What if you stopped asking for permission to exist? What if you stopped watering down your power just to make others comfortable? Nietzsche believed that true transformation only begins when you stop living by other people's scripts and start writing your own. But this is terrifying, isn't it? To break the chains, you must first admit they exist. To awaken, you must first kill the dream. But the alternative? Living a life that was never yours to begin with. A life of silent regret, of what could have been. That's not safety. That's spiritual death. Most people live their whole lives trying to conquer the world, chasing money, approval, status, admiration. But Nietzsche asked a more powerful question. Why not conquer yourself? Because that battle is the hardest one. Overcoming others might require skill, but overcoming yourself? That takes brutal honesty. It demands you face your lies, your ego, your laziness, your fear disguised as logic. It asks you to look in the mirror and admit, I'm the one holding me back. That's what Nietzsche meant by self-overcoming. The painful process of becoming someone new by betraying who you used to be. And make no mistake, it is a betrayal. Because the version of you that brought you this far, it served its purpose. It kept you alive. It helped you survive. But it's also what's keeping you stuck. To rise, you'll have to bury the parts of yourself that are still clinging to safety. The parts that crave approval, that fear risk, that would rather repeat the past than write a new future. Nietzsche didn't believe in the soul as something fixed. To him, we are becomings, not beings. We're not statues. We're sculptures, living, breaking, reshaping, evolving. He saw life as an art form. And you are both the artist and the clay. But here's the truth most people avoid. Real self-overcoming hurts. It's not a straight line. It's a war between the version of you that wants to evolve and the one that wants to stay comfortable. There will be nights of collapse, days where everything you thought you were burns to the ground, moments where you'll be tempted to go back. But if you endure that chaos, if you walk through that fire, something greater will rise in its place. Because real power is not found in perfection, it's found in rebirth. Nietzsche gave this idea a name, the Übermensch, the Overman. He is not a superhero. He is not a god. He is a human being who no longer follows the herd. He does not live for validation. He does not repeat inherited values. He does not ask for meaning. He creates it. The Overman is the person who becomes the author of their own life. They don't accept who they were told to be. They become who they were meant to be, even if it means walking alone. And that's the cost of becoming powerful in a world built to keep you average. You will be misunderstood. You will be judged. You will lose people. You will scare those who haven't found their own strength yet. But you will walk with something most people never know: integrity, clarity, fire. You will stop being a product of the world and start becoming a force that reshapes it. And that's what Nietzsche wanted for you. Not comfort, not praise, not obedience. He wanted transformation, reinvention, rebirth. Now that we've come this far, now that the lies have been exposed, the illusions shattered, there's only one question left to ask. What kind of life will you choose? Will you keep living for comfort, predictability, and approval? Or will you risk everything for strength, authenticity, and transformation? Because make no mistake, you can't have both. Comfort offers you peace, but it's a fake peace, a sedative, not a solution. It whispers, stay where you are, don't question, don't risk, don't change. And you listen, because it's easy, it's convenient, it's socially rewarded. But deep down, you know you're betraying something sacred within yourself. You know you're slowly fading, watching your potential rot behind a polished smile. You know that if you continue like this, you will reach the end of your life wondering, what could I have become if I had just chosen differently? On the other side stands strength. It doesn't promise comfort. It doesn't guarantee applause. It doesn't give you a map, but it offers you something comfort never will: meaning. And meaning doesn't come from what's easy. It comes from what's real, from falling and rising again, from standing your ground even when the world pushes back, from becoming someone who didn't just exist, but transformed. Nietzsche believed that life only has value when it's lived as an act of constant overcoming. When you stop existing on autopilot, when you stop seeking safety and start seeking purpose, when you stop asking who will let me and start declaring I will. He knew this wouldn't be for everyone. And maybe it's not for you, but if you've felt even a flicker of fire in your chest while listening, if something in you stirred, rebelled, awakened, then maybe the will to power has already started to rise. And here's the truth: it won't let you rest anymore, not until you choose. So now I ask you, not as a narrator, not as a voice in a video, but as one soul speaking to another, what within you needs to die so you can finally be born? Answer in the comments. Be honest. Let this be the first time you say it out loud. This space isn't for perfection. It's for awakening. For those who are tired of being edited versions of themselves. For those who are done hiding from their own fire. And if this video provoked you, challenged you, broke something open inside you, then share it. Even if it hurts. Especially if it hurts. Because truth isn't always pretty, but it's powerful. And in the end, it's the only thing that can set you free. The next video will go even deeper into the philosophy of those who dared to break the system, rebuild themselves, and walk alone. Because transformation requires continuity. And I'll be right here step by step, word by word. See you there.